בשם השם נעשה ונצליח. Musar, the lessons of Musar based on Sefer שערי Ghedusha, חלק ב' שער ד'. This is brought in Chok-LYisrael of Parashat Kitisa Yom Shelishi. So over here we're going to explain that Geula, the redemption, is based upon how much we work on the midah of qin'ah, jealousy, right? And so it says over here that even the kings, right? The Valken ismach b'chelcho. Even the king here, va'af malachim netaheru ma'olam avur midat ra'azu va'alken ismach b'chelcho. That even the malachim, right, have this midah of being jealous, right? So, and they need to work on themselves, nitredu, that they are also occupied in this world. Who are they jealous at? Bnei Israel. Because we can do mitzvot for many times, and as we know, certain malachim, they are created to do a mitzvah once, and after they do that mitzvah, they accomplish their purpose, and in a spiritual way, they die, right? Or certain malachim, they are only able to say Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. They can sanctify the name of Hashem once per lifetime. Or as is brought in Zohar HaKadosh, malachim before praising Hashem in the morning, they first wait for Bnei Israel to praise Hashem, right? And then they say the praise of Kadosh, right? So it says, according to Share Ghedusha, En ben David ba al ad shetusdara haqin'ah. That Ben David, referring to Mashiach Ben David, Mashiach, salvation will not come until the midah of qin'ah is uprooted. The midah of jealousy, until the jealousy is uprooted. Ukemo sha'amar hakatuv, as it says in the pasuk, right, that talking about the time of Mashiach la'atid lavo. The pasuk says in Yeshaya perek yud aleph pasuk yud gimel, Vesara qin'at Ephraim, which means Ephraim lo yekane et Yehuda. That in the time of Mashiach, Ephraim, that refers to Yosef, right? Ephraim came from Yosef as-Sadiq, right? Ephraim, Yosef as-Sadiq's son, right, will not have jealousy at Yehuda. What is Yehuda? Yehuda refers to Mashiach ben David, David HaMelech, Mashiach ben David, that comes from Shevet Yehuda. Velo od, and not only that, Ella ki afilu malachei marom naflu mekedushatan al devazeh. That even the malachim, the heavenly angels, right, they would lose their level of spirituality, the Kedusha, if they have jealousy, whatever that means, because of this concept of jealousy. Kemo shamru firqei Rabbi Eliezer, as it says in firqei Rabbi Eliezer, perek yud bet ad Samael. Samael is the malach of Hashem. Shebetechila chavira haya gadol min haserafim. That in the beginning of the creation, Samael was the highest of all the seraphim, the heavenly angels. She'en lahem rag shesh kenafaim. Right? Not only they had 6 wings, ve'u haya lo sheteim este kenafaim. Samael had 12 wings, right? According to according to Yahadut, Malachim have spiritual wings, right? And Samael was the exception among all the Malachim that he had 12 wings. That tells us that Samael was an exceptional angel. Even so, Ne'akar min Ghedusha, Sitra Akhra. He lost his Ghedusha to Sitra Akhra, to impure powers. He lost it. Why? What happened to him, to that angel? Bishvil qin'a al-hadam, because he had jealousy to mankind. What did he do? When Hashem consulted with the Malachim, should I, if I'm not mistaken, he consulted with the Malachim, should I, Hashem said, should we create Adam? Right? That shows Hashem doesn't need to consult, but he wants to show us, he wants to teach us a lesson that we should always consult, and we should not be just relying on ourselves. We should always have a mentor, and you don't lose by getting advice. So in that case, the Samael came ahead and said, no, Hashem, do not create this being, right? And his reason was that they're going to commit murder, and they're going to commit sins, right? But our Chachamim teach us what was there really. There was a jealousy that Samael had, right? Shehaya Gore Shemot Dechol Haberiya Vechen Hanifliim Azar Vazael Anagim Shenaflu Min Hashamayim Bedor Anosh Nitru Veirdu Min Haolam Halyon Al Shenitqanneu Ba'adam. Wow! Not only that, right? Adam Arishon was appointed to call all the names of the creatures, right? Aryeh, lion. Who called that name? Adam Arishon. Hashem took Adam Arishon to all the creations, and Hashem allowed Adam Arishon to see their mahut, their essence, and to name them based on their essence and midot, right? So this angel lost what he had because of jealousy. And also we see by the giants, right, Azar wa Azael, right, that they came from Anagim Shenaflu Min Hashamayim, that they were really angels, that Hashem made them to become Anagim, the giants. Right? Why? Because they had jealousy at they said that Hashem, they weren't happy about the creation of Adam, and they said that they're going to do sins, right? So Hashem told them, okay, you think they're going to do sins? Let's see what you guys are going to do if you be instead of them. And they came in the form of ladies, if I'm not mistaken, and they had a lot of immodest acts with men in the world. Nitredu, right? Ve'irdu min ha'olam ha'elyon ad shenitqanneu ba'adam. Why? Because they had qin'ah. They were kicked out of olam haba because of the qin'ah they had. Sha'amru lahem HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that Hashem told them, HaChokhmat Adam hi lema'ala mechokhmatchem, right? Mechokhmatam, that the mankind's wisdom is greater than yours. Venitqanneu bo. So HaKadosh tells us that they became jealous at Adam and all the mankind. Ve'od amru Chazal, and furthermore our rabbis of blessed memory teach us in Masechet Shabbat Quf Nun Bet, right, page 152 Amud Bet, Kol mi sheyesh bo qin'ah asmotav margivin whoever has jealousy, his bones would what is the word? Would rot, right? Yeah. I tell you a story on this. Unbelievable story. I heard it from my Rebbe Harav Yisachar French Shalita. No, I didn't hear it from Harav French Shalita. I heard it from Rabbi David Ashir Shalita. The story is like this: that there was this girl that got certain illness, and she went to coma, right, before age of 12, or maybe right by 12, right, and she lived 80 years, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember that correct, and she died at the age of 92. And before going to coma, she was not observant. She was born from a traditional family, not observant, and therefore they buried her in a Goyish cemetery that belonged to the Goyim. So later on, somehow her relatives understood that she got a burial in non-Jewish cemetery, right? And the person who knew this is her relative, right? Decided to go ahead and take the body, right, the casket, and bury that body in a Jewish cemetery. There is such a mitzvah to do that. So as the crew went to take out the body, they noticed that body was fresh, right? The body was fresh, even though that she died. I don't know exactly how many years was after the burial, but the body was very fresh. They couldn't believe it. What happened? What's the chut? The family couldn't understand. It's the relative. What's the chut she had? She wasn't religious, right? And so they went to Rav Chaim Kanievsky Shalita. Rav Chaim Kanievsky told them very simple, because it says in Masechet Shabbat that jealousy would make the bones rot, and this girl was so young and didn't have anything, and didn't have any jealousy, perhaps no jealousy, and because she had no jealousy, the rule applied to her that the body did not rot, right? Yeah. So כל מי שיש בו קנאה עצמותן מרקיבין, right? שנאמר, as it says in Mishle, שלמה המלך תשזז ורקב אסמות קנאה, that jealousy causes the bones to rot. ולכן, and therefore, ראו לאדם להיות בחלקו שמח, it is fit that the person should be happy about his portion. אף אם חלקו מעט ועני, even if his part that he has in this world is a little bit, doesn't have much. Maybe he drives Jian. You know what is Jian? You don't even know. It used to be a very cheap German car in Iran, right? 2-cylinder, the cheapest of all the other cars. So they wanted to make fun of someone in Iran. They would say he doesn't even drive a Jian, right? So even if he has nothing, right, he should be happy with what he has, right? Ve'en lo kedei sorcho, even if he's ani, he doesn't have even his basic needs. And don't be jealous at others who have more. Who has the true simcha? The one who lives in a house with 10 bedrooms, or the one who lives with siblings in a 2-bedroom, maybe six people, maybe 8 people live in an apartment of 2-bedroom. The amazing fact is that those who live together in a smaller place, they have more simchat chaim, they have more true simcha, right? They don't bother themselves, of gashmiot. They haven't experienced the gashmiot like others, so they're not spoiled in a way. Right? They're happy with their portion. Ki lo tov lo hu yoter מהתנאים הקדושים, right? כמו הלל הזקן ורבי חנניה בן דוסה ורבי יהודה בן אליעזר ורבי אלעזר בן פרת, right? וזולתם ואף הם היו עניים מרודים. Now, you think you are greater than Hillel HaZaken? Than Rabbi Hananiah ben Dosa? Hillel HaZaken was so poor that in the Olam Haba, when we go in front of the Bedin Shel Ma'ala, right, heavenly court, they're going to ask us series of questions. The first question they're going to ask is Qavati itim la Torah, Veyu qovea itim betorah, Veyu qovea, did you have set time of Torah learning? Or another question they're going to ask, were you honest, right? Were you honest in business? So if it comes to the question of qovea itim betorah, if a person says, I was poor, I couldn't learn Torah, I had to go work, they're going to say, what about Hillel HaZaken? Were you more poor than Hillel? Hillel did not have money to go to Beit Midrash. Back then, for learning Torah, there was a guard by the door and would charge them, right? Entrance fee. You come in, you learn Torah, this is how much you need to pay. And the famous story is that Hillel HaZaken one winter day did not have money to pay, right? And he was not allowed to go in. And he went onto the roof to listen to the lecture from the roof, and snow came upon him, and he fell asleep, frozen up there. And they noticed him up there, blocking the sun, right? And they brought him down, and they helped him to become unconscious, right? So we cannot even grasp and understand what was the magnitude of living in that time, being so poor. Or Hananiah ben Dosa says in the Gemara, Masachet Ta'anit, that the whole world sustained from him, right? And he would only eat chanub, right? Chanub from the weekdays, from week to week he only had chanub, right? Or Rabbi Yehuda ben Eliai, he was also very poor. Or Rabbi Eliezer ben Perat, right? They were aniyim, right? However, they were aniyim, but they still learned Torah. Ve'iten Adam et libo ki kol ha'olam hazeh havel havelimhu. And a person needs to understand, as Shlomo HaMelech teaches us, right? Hevel havalim akol havel. This word is hevel, is emptiness, right? What is hevel? Right? Nothing. It's just the air of the mouth. Va'igarhu olam haba, and the main thing is what to come. Olam ha'emet, what to come. Va'iftach b'Hashem, just have bitachon to Hashem. Trust Hashem that whatever is happening to you is good, and this way you should not be jealous. Baruch Adonai Leolam, Amen v'Amen.